This is the power of this thermal. That tree is 300 yards out, and that's a mouse. It's nuts.
You are looking at my friend Ron's Olympic Arms UMAR in caliber 22-250. So congratulations to all you guys who were guessing that. I'm going to be using the Hornady. This is what Ron has already loaded. The Hornady 50 grain VMAX bullet, and box published velocities is 3,800 FPS, though I don't know what barrel length they were using to test to get those velocities. Ron's is a 22-inch barrel, and more importantly, I've got my brand new Flir Pro 733. I literally just took out of the box and mounted on here. Check out this mother of all lenses. So the goal is to get this thing dialed in, sighted in, and then Ron wants me to shoot a coyote for sure, a varmint, and then ultimately a hog. So I get to keep this gun for a little while, but eventually, sometime in May, we're gonna get this Vortex mounted back on here, and Ron and I are going on a prairie dog hunt. So if you don't think a 50 caliber bullet or a VMAX bullet can drop a hog, watch what Ron did in a couple of his videos. On Monday, I went and sighted in the 22-250. Published velocities for the Hornady VMAX is 3,800 FPS. The 7-round average out of Ron's rifle is 3,855 with a 123 FPS velocity spread. My buddy Sean invited me to hunt coyotes and varmints out on his property. The temperatures this evening was going to be dipping to be around freezing, so I asked permission to hunt out of the second story of his barn dominium. I didn't see anything, but I did call in a bobcat that night. There was an extreme lack of muzzle control during the shot sequence. I went out and looked for the bobcat with no recovery. The next evening, I went out to my property to hopefully hunt some hogs and varmints. As usual, there are a plethora of deer running around. The crisp clarity of this new thermal is phenomenal. No hogs showed up, but just before leaving, a raccoon decided to enter the property to a 300-yard mark. I decided to shoot prone on my mat with a rear bag. I held high at 3 inches. But I failed to take into account the 9-mile-per-hour 10 o'clock wind that sent this light 55 grain bullet 3.5 inches behind the raccoon. Friday, as I was entering the property, I literally ran into this small sounder. We've seen the same group of hogs on every one of our game cameras, but tonight I went out specifically to target coyotes. Walking to my stand, I could hear coyotes surrounding me. The wind was coming out of the southeast. I positioned myself on top of the hill that looked over 3 long private roads. I put my Primos Alpha Dog collar about 120 yards down the road to my north, with the speakers facing back towards me, hoping the coyotes would try to downwind the sound. I expected one of 3 things to happen. This first coyote would work down the tree line down to this point. I've had this previously happen on 2 other hunts. The second coyote would work downwind of the sound and work back up the road. Or the third coyote would work a trail through the trees. I did not get the audio portion of this hunt. I'm still learning to use this thermal system. I barked at the coyote to stop, but I want to rewind and freeze it so that you can see what a bullet traveling at Mach 3 does to a coyote. This was a fatal shot, but I went ahead and took a second shot to dispatch the coyote. My question for you, what distance do you think that I shot this coyote? Post your answer below. Fairly certain the first shot was fatal. Let's see if we find an entry wound here. The exit's horrible. As you can see, the blood's already there. It's the heart shot for sure. That thing dripping. And the follow-up, blew his legs out. Male, young male, probably 18 pounds, typical weight around here. Real healthy pup though, good pelt.
It took me over 5 minutes to locate this coyote. Mentally, I thought I shot him at one distance, but due to the Flir 733 native zoom being at 6 times power, he was much farther away. I was successful at calling in a second coyote, but he busted me moving. If I would have waited just 10 more minutes at this location, I would have shot this monster boar. It was a fun hunt, and since it's full moon season, I'm going to stay after coyotes for another week. I've got bullets from Australia to test in my 6.5 Creedmoor in the next 2 weeks. Let me know what you think about the new Flir 733 Thermosight Pro and Ron's 22-250. After running with his 22-250, I'm considering building an AR-15, maybe in 6.5 Grendel since I have so many 264 bullets. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button below. I try to post weekly, and stay tuned for my next adventure.